Yeah.
All right, we're live. What's up? Happy Friday, everybody. I got the chat working. Those of you that were here for the college basketball show, the chat wasn't working at the bottom of the screen. We're back. Just me and Modai today. It'll be a real quick one. There's 9 games, but there's only 2 of us. And you guys already know what I think about 6 of them if you watched last night's video. So I won't reiterate and go through every single thing. Poll I ran before, are the Pistons live dogs at plus 320? 68% of you said yes. So it looks like the community thinks the Pistons are live. And what a perfect segue, because that's where we're starting. And I'll go first here. I don't know if I think the Pistons are live. If you put a gun to my head and force me to bet a side against the spread, it would obviously be Pistons plus 9. I wouldn't lay 9 points with the Cavs here. But I don't like how the Pistons offensively are going to be so reliant on making jump shots, because that's what the Cavs have been struggling with. They're still protecting the interior at an elite level. And if you take that away from the Pistons, yeah, they got some guys that can make shots, but can you really count on the Pistons jump shooters to keep you in games? I don't think we can. So if you watch my video, you guys already know what I'm on. I took the under here, and I put it on the ticket too. I bet this. This isn't a lean. I took the under. I got it at 221.5, which is where it still is. When I made the video last night, it was at 222.5. But by the time I recorded the video, uploaded it, it had already dropped to 221.5. I like the under here. And I do like the matchup for both defenses. Like I said, Pistons should be relying on jump shots. Cleveland offensively, the three-point shots are falling. They're starting to fall for the Cavs again, but Detroit actually does a good job defending the three-point line. So Cavs are going to be forced to attack the interior, which they should have some success, but you're counting by 2s instead of 3s. But really, what really put me on the edge here, what really put me onto the under here, neither team runs a lot of fast breaks. In particular, fast break frequency 15th and 19th, so both mediocre as far as running fast breaks. But defensively, both these teams are top 10 in opponent fast break opportunities limited. So they don't allow their opponents to get out in the fast break, which should slow this pace down even more. So yeah, I'm playing the under here at 221.5, and I am on it.
Yeah, I unfortunately passed on this one. I didn't want to touch any props because they don't have any Cavs player props out until there's news on Donovan Mitchell and Karis LeVert, obviously more so Donovan Mitchell. If I had to pick a side, I would lean the Pistons. I don't know. Like, there's not a lot of teams that I would want to lay 9 points with the Cavs against right now. Like, I'm just not super impressed with how they're playing, and it's just a typical doldrums of the regular season, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I officially passed. I would lean Pistons plus 9.
Yeah, it looks like that's where the community's leaning also. So I'll put Pistons plus 9. Plus, I guess it's at 8.5 now. Community is 60% to 16%. So community heavily leaning towards the Pistons here.
How often have you seen that big of a discrepancy?
With a plus 8.5 dog, never. Sometimes you'll get it with like a favorite, but
is Shipley still always talking about the Pistons?
Yeah. He hasn't been in the live show he's in the Discord running his mouth about the Pistons 24 hours a day though. He hasn't made the live show the last week or so. All right, Hornets at Sixers, and I have a feeling that most of the community here is going to be clicking the Hornets at plus 11.5. I think this is a great matchup actually, you know what? Let me put the over-under here too. I think this is a great matchup for Philadelphia's defense, and I think they're going to clamp the Hornets here, which is why on my side, I'm putting up Philly minus the points. I think the Sixers are about to cover this. What I actually bet, though, is Charlotte team total under 101.5. And I know that's super low, but I'm going to pull up right now to show you the kind of basketball games the Hornets have been playing. The defense has really stepped up for the Hornets recently. Let me get the poll up. There we go. Hornets points scored in their last 4 games. 84, 93, 85, 99. So we're talking about, it's been 8 days now since the Hornets have cracked triple digits in a game. So it's not crazy to think that the Hornets don't score 102 points. In fact, I think they remain in double digits. But matchup-wise, the Sixers defense has done a complete 180. In the last 5 games, they're top 5 in defensive rebounding rate, top 5 in forced turnover rate. They've been defending jump shooters really well, which is perfect in this Hornets matchup. And what's more impressive is who have the Sixers played in that span? The Bucks, the Celtics, the Heat, the Knicks, the Cavs. That's the Sixers' last 5 games. And they're top 5 in defensive rebounding. They're 8th against above the break 3, 8th against the long mid-range shot. So this Sixers defense, which was so bad right before, heading into the All-Star break, it's playing great right now, and it's a perfect matchup for the Hornets. I think they clamp Charlotte, and I actually think the offense get going. I think the Sixers cover this. So I would bet Philly minus 11.5, and I actually didn't put out my second ticket. I only put out the overnight ticket. So when I put out the second ticket right after this show, I might even throw a few dollars on Philly minus the points. But I'm pretty comfortable on my Charlotte team total under. Matt?
Yeah, so I'm kind of with you on the Sixers. I have Buddy Hield 4+ made 3-pointers. The way, first of all, he's been just shooting a ton as he's been a member of the Sixers. Like, he leads the team in both 3-point attempts and 3-pointers made. Granted, it's only been 8 games, but like that's what they want him to do. Just shoot and don't think about it. He's attempting about 9 per game, and he's making 3.8 as a member of the Sixers. So like not that this is the perfect analysis, but like he's making about 4 per game, and we're getting that at plus 160. He was admittedly shooting better when he first joined the team. Like, his first time not hitting 3-pointers made was the last game. But now he gets the matchup against the Hornets, who give up the shots that exactly Buddy Hield takes. Like, you can look at it however you want. Courtside Pal says the Hornets give up the 5th most points to a shooting profile, the 2nd most to a scoring profile. And then the Hornets give up the Hornets give up the 2nd most points per game from spot ups in the NBA, and they allow the 3rd most made catch and shoot 3-pointers in the month of February. That's exactly what Buddy Hield does. He spots up and he shoots catch and shoot. Like, he's attempting the most catch and shoot opportunities on the Sixers by far, and he's making 47% of them. And that's what that's how, even as the Hornets defense has been a little bit better in the month of February, like, they're allowing, like I said, the 3rd most, and it was 3-point attempts from catch and shoot, not 3-pointers made, just to be exact there. But like, he's going to fire away, and you can't bet on whether a guy's going to be hot. I mean, you can. I can't tell you whether a guy's going to be hot or not, but I can at least bet on he's going to get the attempts up. So that's kind of why I like the Buddy Hield angle.
Yeah. Buddy Hield seems to be giving them a little bit of life offensively. They're at least have an outside shooting presence now, which was not there before the All-Star break. So a couple comments here. Night Owl says half unit on the Sixers. That's about what I'm thinking as well. And JT family right here. I think the books expect everyone to be on the Hornets. Seeing Sixers minus 11.5 is crazy. I agree. I think this is a sharp favorite here, taking Philly lane this big number. I think the square side would be Charlotte. Now, it's not always as simple as one side's the sharp side and one side's the square side, but right. I feel like this is a sharp spot to play the Sixers minus 11.5. Community is on Charlotte, though. 44% took a plus 11.5, which is what I thought. Hornets have been playing better basketball recently, and 11.5 points. I get it. But I'm on Philly. Next, Golden State at Toronto, up in Canada. This line is now 3. This has got to be, I think this might be the toughest game on the board to call. There's just 2 glaring weaknesses here. That there's like 2 very strong positive angles for each side. And okay, so what does Golden State struggle with defensively more than anything all season? Defending the fast break. It's something they've really had a problem with. Their defensive numbers in transition are just terrible. Toronto's 2nd in fast break frequency. Toronto runs the fast break more than any other team in the NBA other than the Oklahoma City Thunder. So you got a Golden State Warriors team on a back-to-back with the travel. They flew up to Toronto immediately after finishing their game last night to play a Raptors team that's just going to sprint up and down the court. I mean, it kind of, what it reminds me of is, I guess it was the Pacers game where I took the Raptors plus 7, where it's like they don't want to go up there. And no, I think the Raptors were in Indiana for that one. So bad example. But does this really, the Warriors team that has the Boston Celtics on deck, how motivated are they to go up to Toronto and try to play defense against this team that's going to be running 150 miles an hour? So right off the bat, I'm leaning towards Toronto, but there's a huge but here. Toronto's got terrible defensive numbers against jump shooters, specifically the long mid-range shot and the above the break 3. Golden State's money from out there. And then we know how good the Warriors have been on the road, which makes this one impossible. I guess if I had to bet it, you're forcing me to bet this one. I'll put right here. This is where I'd go. Over, I guess. I probably would lean Golden State slightly, but I will not bet the Warriors and lay points on the road against a team that's going to run the fast break on 25% of their possessions. I think that's a bad matchup. So I'd go over a pass, slight lean to Golden State. That's it.
Yeah, and there's also the travel issues, which makes it tough. Like, you don't know how that's going to impact them, if it will impact them at all. So my play is I have Steph Curry over 3-pointers. The odds on this have been crazy. Like, I actually got a bad price. I locked it in at plus 112. Then when I sent the graphics over to Prop Beaver, it went all the way up to plus 124. So I was like, oh, I got a bad price. Now it's back down to plus 110. So it's just kind of fluctuating a little bit. So right now the best price is plus 110. I would still take it at plus 110. Like, that's essentially what I got it for. And it's exactly what you said. The above the break 3-pointer. Like, there's nobody who does better at that than Steph Curry. And he's just been taking more and more recently. Like, he's been on fire in the month of February. Like, he's attempting over 12 above the break 3-pointers per game in the month of February. And he's making 41% of those attempts. The next closest guy in terms of attempts is Luka, and he's at 9.5. Like, it's crazy what he's doing. He also attempts the third most pull-ups on the NBA on the season, and he makes the third most in the month of February. That's another area in which the Raptors are weak, is giving up pull-up 3-pointers and above the break 3-pointers. In February, they allowed the third most made pull-up 3-pointers, and in the month of February, they're tied for the second most made above the break 3-pointers against them. That's just a death sentence against Steph. And even though the number 6 made 3-pointers is crazy, you see that and you're like, that's obscene. He's made that in 6 of his last 10. And he was just on a heater last night. And he's not the type of player that the second he goes on a heater, I'm going to want to fade him because it's Steph Curry. I want to ride that because we've seen him get on these types of runs before. So, yeah, the plus 110 number is what it's currently best offered at, and I would still take it at that number.
So apparently, I don't know if that's what you meant when you start talking about travel. Apparently, the Warriors' flight was delayed. So, yeah, I mean, some people really take that into account. I don't. That wouldn't be enough to push me over to the Toronto side, but it definitely. The whole situation, the fast break should be concerning. Look at the Warriors' numbers against teams that run fast breaks. It's not good. So the Raptors run a lot of fast breaks, so that's concerning. As expected, the whole world's taking Golden State here. 62%, 27%. So if you are betting the Warriors, just know the sports books are going to clean up if they lose. This will be one of those games where if the Warriors lose, everyone will say it's rigged because they just don't understand. But anyway, next game, Dallas on the road in Boston. Now, actually, Matt, you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, sure. So my official play is Tatum over 41.5 points, rebounds, assists. I like all three of those props individually. I like his points, his assists, and his rebounds. And I hope that Luka plays, because then that would make you would presume that would make the game a little bit closer. And if Luka plays, I also like his numbers as well. But I'm waiting to see that his injury news. Last time Tatum played the Mavericks, he scored 39 points. And that makes sense because the Mavericks defense is giving up a ton of made pull-up jump shots. That's all Tatum does. He doesn't get to the rim. That's one of my biggest issues just with him as a player, especially in the playoffs, is he doesn't get to the rim. But it's not going to matter against the Mavericks, who give up, like I said, literally in the month of February, the most made jump shots per the pull-up. They also give up the Mavericks the 6th most assists to his playmaking style. They give up the 5th most assists to his rebounding style. And Tatum has had 10 or more rebounds in each of the last 3 games against the Mavericks. And his over-under is at 8.5. I like pumping him up to 10-plus rebounds. That's at plus 125 odds, so it's not super juicy, but I did put a half unit on that. So my official play is the Tatum over points, rebounds, assists, which you can still get. It's actually at minus 104 now, so it's slightly better than what I gave Prop Beaver. But yeah, like I said, I like all three of them individually, so I just put them all together because I think this is perfect for him to just rack up a bunch of stats in this matchup.
Yeah, I could see that, and it looks like people are voting Dallas here. I guess that's the side I'd lean. I talked about this one in the video I uploaded last night. This is another one where be careful here betting the Mavericks. Now, I said I'd lean that way. Someone said in the comments, they said Boston doesn't cover at home. That's true, but they also haven't played it at home in a little while. Boston hasn't lost against the spread in 5 straight games. They're 4-0-1 against the number. In the beginning of the season, Boston was automatic at home. So the trend you're referring to, Boston doesn't cover at home, we're talking about games that happened 3 weeks ago. I mean, I wouldn't blindly throw my money down on Dallas based on what was happening 3 weeks ago. Boston looks like a machine right now. So this is another one where I don't have a bet down on it. The only way I'd go is over. I do like the matchup. I think there is a path here for Dallas to score points. Obviously, we need Luka Doncic to play. He's listed as questionable. But I think there's a path here for Dallas to give the Boston defense problems. The strength of the Celtics defense is on the interior at the rim. They have one of the best interior defenses in the NBA. Dallas has no interest in going in there. Dallas does all their damage via jump shot. Basically, outside of 12 feet, that's where Dallas offense lives. And Celtics, believe it or not, actually don't have the best defensive numbers against three-point shots in the last handful of games. So there is an avenue there for the Mavs to score some points. But on the other side, man, Dallas has been struggling to defend the three in the last 5 games. They're like 24th or something against the above the break three. They really struggle to defend the fast break, another thing Boston does. So as much as I like the matchup for the Mavs offense, it's tough to make a case for Dallas defense coming into Boston and giving the Celtics offense problems. It's really tough to make a case. So I guess I lean over. The reason I didn't actually bet this, and I probably won't pull the trigger on it, Boston's 28th in pace in the last 5 games, 22nd in the last 10. I think it was 22nd in the last 10 games. So Boston hasn't been running a fast pace, which will just kill this over. But that's where I want to be, is the over. And I guess if I was forced to make a pick against the spread, I would take the points with Dallas, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics blew them out at all. So yeah, I'll say over a pass for this one. Nothing's changed from my opinion on this from last night. We got poll is on Dallas, 54%, 30%. So a lot of action coming in on Dallas, which, I mean, Mavericks have been playing good basketball, and we're talking about 9 points. So I completely understand why people are taking the Mavericks, and it's where I'd lean. Sacramento at Minnesota. All right. We got Kings. This line's at 6.5 now. I was circling on last night's video. I was circling between 3 bets. I like this matchup for the Sacramento defense. Here's something you don't get to say many times throughout the season. I like the matchup for the Kings defense. And I think the way to go, now the market moved the other way. It was at 24. It's at 225.5. So the market's pushing this number up. I disagree. And this is one of the ones I'm going to add to the ticket. I think the best way to go is just take a full game under here. I was leaning towards Minnesota team total under. But Minnesota, I don't know if you guys watched the video. I'll do like a summarized version. I don't want to repeat everything I said last night. But so Minnesota's defense, thumbs up, tip the hat. No criticism of the Minnesota defense. Minnesota's offense in the last 5 games, basically since the All-Star break, the T-Wolves are 20th in offensive efficiency. And you might be thinking, 20th in offensive efficiency, who cares? It's 5 games. Want to know who they played in those games? The Blazers, the Grizzlies, the Nets. They're 30th in strength of schedule. They've played a bunch of trash, and the Bucks. They played the Bucks in there. But they've played some of the worst teams in the NBA in the last 5, and they're 20th in offensive rating. Timberwolves' offense has been struggling recently. Now, the defense, like I said, 2 thumbs way up. But the offense has not been there, and this is a Kings defense. What do they do well? Not much, except for one thing. They protect the basket well. That's what they can do. The Kings can protect the basket. Now, you can light them up from outside. You can really give them problems in the fast break. It's not really things Minnesota is known for doing. I mean, Minnesota's a well-rounded team. Not that they don't have outside shooting. They do. But Minnesota likes to take the ball into the interior offensively. And so this Kings defense, although it's a bad unit, I actually think they're in a favorable spot to give the T-Wolves offense problems. Now, on the other side, the reason I'm taking the under instead of Sacramento plus the points is because we're talking about on the road in Minnesota where offenses go to die. So I don't love the matchup for the Kings offense, but I like this under. And I didn't put this on the ticket last night, but this will definitely be one I'll be throwing a few dollars on after the show. So if you're waiting for the ticket with the updated with some the added bets, it'll be right after we get done here. And this will be one of them. I'm going to take the under here at minus 225.5. I don't care if the market's pushing the number up. I'm taking the under. Matt?
There you go. So this one I have De'Aaron Fox over 24.5 points. The number's been creeping up. I got it at minus 106. It's now best offered at minus 120. I don't necessarily know if I'll take it much higher than that. At that point, I'd probably just pump it up. Like you can get over 25.5 for plus 105. But as good as the Timberwolves defense is, and they are really good, like this isn't me saying that they're not a good defense. They funnel shots in the mid-range. And like that's generally a good thing for defenses to do. Like you don't want to give up shots at the rim and you don't want to give up open three-pointers, especially at the corner. And they don't give up anything at the rim because of Rudy Gobert. But they'll just funnel everything into the mid-range. And like if you're giving up 25 points to Fox, that's not me saying like I think Fox is going to blow them up or anything. But on the year, the Timberwolves are allowing the sixth most pull-up field goal attempts in the NBA and the second most mid-range attempts. Like I said, they don't get beat in at the restricted area, and they don't get beat from the perimeter. And Fox isn't as good as guys like Trae Young or Devin Booker in terms of like pulling up in the mid-range, but he turned himself into a decent shooter. And he takes by far the most pull-ups and the most mid-range shots on the Kings. In terms of pull-ups, he like takes double the next closest guy in terms of number of pull-up jump shot opportunities per game. And after a rough stretch from like December into January, he's been playing really well recently. He's cashed 25 or more points in 5 straight games. In the last 2 matchups that he played against a similar drop coverage style defense, granted, defense that aren't nearly as good, but defenses that will drop the center, he put up 40 against the Suns and he put up 30 against the Nuggets. So for this one, I'm just hoping that he can get to 25. And he's currently listed as questionable, but if he doesn't play, we'll just get that refunded.
He participated in shoot around.
Oh, okay. All right. I missed that part. But yeah, I guess I just saw that he was still listed as questionable. But
he's still listed as questionable, but he participated in shoot around, which is a good sign.
Yeah. And if he gets ruled out, like you'll just get this refunded. It's like you're going to get your money back regardless.
Yep. Yes, I know. Someone said, Kyle, you ain't putting no 80K on the under. Yes, I was joking. If I was able to place an $80,000 bet, that's not a flex. That a sports book would let me do that.
Yeah, no book would take that.
No, yeah. If a sports book's taking $80,000 of my action, stop watching this channel. That means I suck. Next up, Pacers on the road at Pellies. Curious to see what you think of this one, Matt. I personally, I'm assuming you're in the same boat as you don't love these home and homes. I hate them. Prop Beaver's with me. He doesn't like them either. You find value in these?
Sometimes I can. I passed on this one though. So because like I like the Halliburton assist angle, but like that the odds have just moved way towards the under, even though we have 13 on 22 potentials. So that would be one way I would lean, would be Halliburton assist over, even though the market's moved like against that. And I also like the Zion points over as well, but that's went the opposite way. And it's like, I got it at 23.5. And I don't think it's worth touching for a juiced number at 24.5. So I passed on this one.
So Halliburton over assist or pass?
Or Zion points. Like, I don't know. Like the number has moved in opposite directions, so I don't want to put my name to either of those. But if I had to give out something, those would be the two.
Prop Beaver was saying he was leaning towards Zion points again, but Zion just bit him in the ass recently. He was pissed at Zion about something, so I don't think it. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. So to answer a couple questions in the comments, someone said, "Where do I get the pie charts from?" That comes from my spreadsheets that I have in house. They're an average of. We have 4 sites. It's Sports Betting Dime. Covers. We take the numbers from 4 different sites and average them because that data is very arbitrary. So we figured the best way to do it would just take an average of a bunch of them. So we generate those in house. So yeah, and the other question was, why would that mean you suck about the $80,000 bet? So if you're a good sports bettor, you will get limited on sports books when you start winning X amount. So if you see someone that's betting like $20,000, $30,000, never mind. I'm not going to get into that, but just you know. So Pacers on the road in New Orleans here. I'd lean Pelicans, but as I mentioned, I don't like these home and homes. I probably will put a few dollars on the Pellies just because they just took the loss, and the angle that really will get my money down is Pellies, jeez. Pellies.
Emotional.
Yeah. Pellies have 3 full days off after this. So after this game, Pelicans don't play another game till Tuesday. So they're going to pull out all the stops to get this win. Meanwhile, the Pacers are starting a road trip. They go to San Antonio, then Dallas. So Pacers are in the midst of I think it's a 3-game road trip out west. Pelicans are in a spot where it's like, all right, let's get this win and get to our nice 3-day weekend. So whatever, I expect the Pelicans to really put an exclamation point to make sure they secure this W. So yeah, I'll probably put a few dollars on the Pelicans, but if you're on the Pacers, like, I'm not going to argue with you. I completely could see why you're there. Poll is leaning towards the Pacers. All right. 48%, 37% in favor of Indiana. Next game. All right. You don't like this one?
I mean, who's playing? How many?
It's a good question.
I mean,
yeah, we need to spend enough much time on this one. I actually got some closing line value on this one. I'm holding the Portland +3 ticket. I know, I'm such a goddamn sharp. But
80K on Portland +3.
Yeah, 80K. I got 80K on Portland.
Yeah.
No, this is actually, I think it was a 0.5. Oh no, 0.75 unit. That's what I put on it. So yeah, I'll put Portland up for me. Now on paper, this is a great matchup for Portland. For real. Portland forces a lot of turnovers, which really should give the Memphis offense, the Grizzlies offense problems. That's something they struggle with, protecting the basketball. Portland's also been attacking the rim a lot. That's the weakness of the Grizzlies' defense, is protecting the basket. And now Jaren Jackson Jr. isn't playing. So there should be nobody to protect the rim down there for Memphis. Portland should be able to get buckets down low. Now, what Matt said is correct. Who's playing in this game? So do these numbers that I'm reading off even mean anything with all these missing pieces? I'm not. Now, some of them, I'm not too worried about the shots at the rim, because you would think Ayton being out is huge, but he actually takes most of his shots from, well, not most. He takes a lot of mid-range shots. He's not really like he doesn't really bang down low at the rim like that. That's not DeAndre Ayton's game. He kind of reminds me of Embiid in a sense. Well, not Embiid, but Embiid in a sense that he takes a lot of his shots from the short mid-range. So yeah, I'm on Portland. I'm holding Portland +3. I think they win the game. But with all the missing pieces, I'm not going to sit here and talk about this one. Matt?
Yeah, I officially passed. If I had to give out a play, it would be Vince Williams over his points, rebounds, assists. But someone made the joke that Vince Williams, this is on Twitter, his PRA is calling to me like the Green Goblin mask, because I got burned by him like 2 games in a row. So I don't have any money on it. It's not going to make any official play for me. But I do think that his over 28.5 points, rebounds, assists is a good play, because like when everybody's out, his usage rate is like Luka level. It's crazy. And there's no Derrick Rose, no Jaren Jackson Jr., Conchar and Luke Kennard are doubtful. Gigi Jackson's questionable. He's at least going to take every single shot for the Grizzlies, or who at least assist on every single one. So I think it's a good play, but I don't have any money on it myself.
Yeah, that's about enough time we need to spend on this one. I do have a bet on Portland, though. I'm riding Portland, and the Blazers won the poll. So community's on Portland, too. Next up, Milwaukee at Chicago. Now we got ourselves a basketball game. Bucks -4.5, Bulls +4.5. Ooh. Over 222.5, under 222.5. Now, I'm a little worried that I like this one, and I'm a little worried. Like I feel like I shouldn't like it this much, but I do. I really like my bet in this one. I'm on Milwaukee, and I think I'm on the right side here. So the Bucks have been playing really well. They've covered 4 in a row. I got it at 3.5 too. So another game where I'm holding a nice little extra point. So the Bucks have been playing really well, but so have the Bulls. So let's give the Bulls some credit. They've played well. But it's really a matchup on paper. So first of all, the Bucks are on a back-to-back, and I know a lot of people are going to bet the Bulls for that reason. Bucks are 7-3 on 0 days rest this year, so hasn't really hindered them. They're 7-3 in their 10 games with 0 days rest. Not to mention, this is a division game, a division rivalry game with 2 teams that are in the playoff seeding. This is the Bucks aren't going to take this game. This isn't a punt situation for Milwaukee. They're going to show up. Now I know the Bulls are 3-0 against the spread against the Bucks this year. They're 1-2, but they're 3-0 against the spread. So they covered the number in all 3. The lines in those games were 12, 9.5. This is 4. Well, I got it at 3.5. This is 4.5. We're talking about a short number here. But matchups on paper, both sides of the court, I like the angle for the Bucks defense and offense. Real quick summary. Bucks defense. What do they specialize in? Inside the 3-point line. They have great numbers at the rim, great numbers against a short mid-range shot. That takes away a lot of what the Bulls do offensively. The Bulls don't have much of an outside shooting presence. That's what's given the Bucks problems defensively recently is the three-point shot, the above-the-break three. The Bulls don't have, Kobe White. I just named you all the entire outside shooting presence for Chicago. So the Bulls offensively don't really have the tools to give the Bucks defense problems. And then on the other side, where have the Bulls been strongest defensively? They've done a great job protecting the basket. They've done a great job on the interior. The Bulls have been playing great defense on the interior. Bucks haven't been attacking the rim at all. In fact, shots 12 feet and in, shot frequency from that close to the rim. Bucks, I think, are 29th in frequency in the last 10 games. Bucks are not attacking the paint like that. Bucks are doing all their damage via jump shot, which plays right into the direct weakness of Chicago. The Bulls defense has been really bad against a three-point shot. As long as the Bucks have a decent shooting night, they should win and cover this. Now, there's always a possibility on the road that the Bucks' outside shots aren't falling, in which case I'll lose this bet. But as long as they have an average shooting night, I think the Bucks win and cover this. So, yeah, I'm holding the Milwaukee -3.5 ticket. I got a full unit on it, and I'm comfortable in my position.
Sure. So I have two in this one on each team. I'll be quick with both of them. Number one, DeMar over 23.5 points. I got it at plus 100. Right now it's best offered at minus 108. So moved a little bit, at least some positive CLV there. And you said that they do well guarding the mid-range shot. They still allow a ton of those opportunities. Like, it's the drop coverage with Brook Lopez. I talk about it all the time. Even in the month of February, as their defense has gotten better, they're giving up the third most pull-up field goal attempts in the NBA, and they're giving up the most mid-range shots in the entire NBA, and the most made mid-range shots as well. That's exactly what DeMar DeRozan wants to do. He doesn't want to shoot outside. He just wants to live in the mid-range. He's a mid-range king. On the entire season, he takes the most mid-range shot attempts, and he's taking even more in the month of February. Last time he played the Bucks, he scored 41 points. And he's been on fire recently. Like, that actually makes me more nervous than anything. Like, he's cashed this over in 9 of his last 10 games. That makes me feel like a square for taking it. But the matchup was just so good that I still took it, even at even the fact that he's gone over 9 of the last 10 games. Normally I try to bet the opposite of that. But for this one, it's just a matchup play. And then it's the same thing for my second play. Malik Beasley over 3.5 made three-pointers. So this one actually moved in the opposite direction. I got it, I think, at plus 105. And right now, it's best offered at plus 115, so you can get better odds. I still like it from a matchup perspective. The Bulls give up a ton of catch and shoot opportunities and a ton of corner threes. And Malik Beasley is the best in the entire NBA this season at taking and making corner threes. Like, he makes the most in the entire NBA, and he shoots 53% on his corner threes. That's his role for the Bucks. Catch the ball and shoot. And that's exactly what the Bulls give up. So I also, as a side note, I do like Vooch over his three-pointers as well. I tweeted that out right before we hopped on. I didn't expect to have 3 plays that I really liked in this Bulls-Bucks matchup, but that's just kind of how things ended up.
Our notes are pretty aligned in this one. The Bucks are weak against jump shooters. You took DeRozan's over, and then the Bulls are weak against three-point shooting. You took Beasley over 3. So we're pretty in line in this one. Community agrees with me, but a lot of the community might be agreeing because I gave I was pretty definitive with my Bucks pick, and I put it on Discord as a full unit, and I'm sure a lot of people that are watching are in there and probably are already on the Bucks because of that. But community is definitely on the Bucks here, 63%, 27%. So we're definitely a Bucks program tonight. Next up, we're on the last game already. Yeah, we did fly through that. We got Wizards at Clips. And how about those Wizards, man? I had a full unit on Washington. I took it early at the plus 10.5. They were scaring me there early in the fourth quarter. Lakers were opening up a bit of a margin. And, man, I don't know. Did you happen to watch any of the Wizards-Lakers game last night, Matt?
I watched the beginning of it because I had D'Lo assist. And then I got up so early that I didn't finish the whole game. I saw that. I think it went to OT, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And dude, the Wizards, if you're a Wizards fan, thoughts and prayers, man. This team, they should have won this game by 12 points in regulation. The decision-making on this team, Kyle Kuzma, or Tyus Jones did it first. He got an offensive rebound. It was like a Ben Simmons thing where he got an offensive rebound, and he could have just put it up for a layup. And he dribbled it out because I guess he thought a guy was behind him. It looked like the Ben Simmons play. And then there was another one where Kyle Kuzma like someone saved it out of bounds and he got it, and he could have just laid it up, dribbled it out, because he just had no awareness. If you're a Wizards fan, man, I feel your pain. I sat there and watched that whole second half just like shaking my head. I actually think it's a good matchup for the Clippers, but I'm not going to lay 15.5. No, but you got a Clippers team. I'm going to put it up. Clippers minus 16. This would be my pick for the game. You got a Clippers team that's pissed off against a Wizards team that on paper I think they match up pretty well against. I think the table's set for a blowout here. Wizards go to overtime last night against a Lakers team that I thought they matched up. Actually, no, it wasn't a good matchup for the Wizards last night, but this one's even worse. Clippers actually could defend what the Wizards do pretty well. They try to get to the rim. The Wizards defend the three-point shot well, but the Clippers can score pretty much from anywhere. So yeah, I think the table's set for a Clippers blowout, but I'm not going to bet this one.
Someone in the comments actually has my play. It's Zubac and his rebounds. I took 10 plus at plus 110. I think right now you can get it at plus 110 at Bet365. And it's another system play. Like I kind of have these spots that I look for each. Like there are certain teams where I target certain matchups. And for the Wizards, it's center rebound props against them. They're giving up the most rebounds per game to centers on the entire season, the most rebounds per game to centers over the past month. And they've just gotten worse as they traded away Daniel Gafford. He was their leading rebounder. Unsurprisingly, Courtside Pal lists the Wizards as the best matchup for Zubac in his rebounding style. He's another play. He's questionable because he missed last game, and right now he's listed as questionable. Again, if he doesn't play, then he'll just get refunded. You're good there. Last time he did play, he went under. But prior to that, he had cashed 10 plus in 4 straight. And just look at what centers have done against the Wizards recently. AD last night had 15. Granted, that went into overtime, but still, he had 15. The game before that, Jared Allen had 12. Chet had 10 against them. Jokic had 19. Gafford, in a revenge spot against the Wizards, had 17. They play at a super fast pace. They miss a lot of shots, which just means that I have a ton of rebound opportunities against them. And for centers, a lot of time, obviously, that's where it goes to. So Zubac 10 plus for plus money, yeah, I think is phenomenal.
I actually have a bet I'm going to place real quick. I'm going to place it and put it on the screen. 1 second. So one thing, what do we know about the Wizards? They're terrible defensively on the interior, right? Well, the Clippers as a whole do take a lot of jump shots, but there's one player. Where's Westbrook?
Oh, God. Revenge narrative for Westbrook.
Yeah, where's PRAs? I want Westbrook PRAs. Where's he at? Player combos. I don't bet props that often, so what's Westbrook PRAs at?
Oh, they don't have him listed.
Yeah, they don't have him listed. I want Westbrook. I want to take a Westbrook against his old team, a team that can't defend the interior. I want to take a Westbrook over here, but it looks like it's not open yet. But I would like to play a Russ play.
It's because I'm guessing because Paul George is out.
Is he officially out? He's questionable.
Sorry, questionable. I meant questionable.
Yeah. So they don't. Yeah,
they don't have props for other players when guys like that are questionable.
So yeah, I like the matchup for Westbrook. If you're looking to play a prop here, but I put Clippers minus 16 up, but I'm not betting that. So, all right, let's run a quick community parlay. Let's see. We got. All right. Let's see what last night's community parlay was. I know it didn't hit, but where
the Thunder screwed it, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Warriors, Nuggets, Thunder. The Sun. No. The Suns won. They just blew the cover at the end. There were some people in the Discord pissed about that. I didn't bet the Suns.
Frustrating thing.
Yeah, I didn't bet the Suns, so I wasn't even really paying attention to it. And some people in the Discord were upset, to say the least.
Unhappy.
Apparently, the Suns' effort, I didn't watch the end of that game, but apparently the effort for the Suns really fell off in the last few minutes of the game. And they went from up by like 13 and ended up winning by 5. They were laying 8.5. Yeah.
That's tough.
It is. It's a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the community parlay rolling here. All right, so we got Pistons money line is an option. Hornets, Sixers. You guys bet Hornets. We'll go Hornets plus 11.5. Warriors, Raptors. You guys definitely like the Warriors. Mavs, Celtics. You guys voted Mavs. Should we do Mavs?
Yeah.
Should we do Mavs plus 9 or Mavs money line?
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a certain point where what they like the underdog points. Like, what's the number?
So let's put the
you
9.
I mean?
But you know what? I'll put the Pistons plus 9 as well, because they like a lot of dogs, so they voted for. Mr. Radagast Brown, later, man. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow morning, hopefully, for the college basketball show.
One of the most frequent commenters. I always see them in the chat.
Yeah, he's always around. He's got some sharp picks that he leaves down there too. All right, looks like yeah, I knew Warriors money line was going to be in the community parlay before we started. I mean, laying 3 to the Raps. Telling you, be careful with that. I'm not betting the Raptors, so I'm not going to stand here on my podium and be like, you're making a mistake, because I probably would bet Golden State -3, but I really don't like the spot for them.
It was like a rat line.
Yeah, and on a back-to-back against a team that just runs a billion fast breaks, that's tough. That's tough. So yeah, Warriors money line is the winner. If you picked Pistons plus 9, you will get another chance though, because they got second. So we'll throw them back in the poll momentarily. Next up, we got Kings money line. That's only 6.5. We can put the Kings money line in. Pacers, Pelicans. You guys voted Pelicans. Blazers, Grizzlies. You guys voted Blazers. Bucks, Bulls. You guys voted Bucks. All right. Cast your votes. Cast your votes.
While people are voting, someone asked me what I thought about Steph Curry over 4.5 assists. That's priced at like -160 is the best offer. I probably wouldn't touch that. I did see that someone, I forget who, someone that I think is good on Twitter posted Draymond assists. So if you're looking for an assist prop, I'd probably lean Draymond. Admittedly, I didn't do any research of that myself. That's just going off of someone that I respect.
Got it. So Draymond, what would Draymond's assist total be at? Like 5.5?
It was actually 5.5. It got bumped up to 6.5, but it's for plus money. So you're kind of getting better odds, but obviously less likely it hits. So there's always a give and take there.
Someone asked if I'm doing a NASCAR video this weekend. I have to, man. Pick the winner 2 weeks in a row. I got to do one now. I mean, shit. I'll have a riot on my hands if I don't do a NASCAR video. Eventually, we're going to get a NASCAR race where I don't pick the winner. I swear. In fact, most of them will be that way. Second leg, by the way, is Bucks money line. So for this last one, we'll go. You guys voted for the Wizards, so we'll put Wizards plus 15.5 in here. Pelicans money line. You guys voted for that. Then we'll put Pistons plus 9. Mavericks plus 9. All right. So first and second place of this one, that will finish the community parlay. First and second place of this poll. Yeah, I got a lot of compliments. Thank you, Brian. I got a lot of compliments on the hat today. People are digging the Pirates, I guess. People really have a thing for 55-win teams, I suppose.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I just like the simplicity of it. It's just the yellow.
Baseball hats are the best.
Yeah.
All the MLB logos are like simple. It's usually just the color, the city. It kind of represents the city rather than the team. That's why I like baseball. Other sports aren't necessarily like that.
Someone asking about Giannis PRA line. I saw another one. Again, not that I did my own research, but I saw people specifically were on his rebounds under. I think that was supposed to be a
rebounds under.
I think from like an odd, like a strictly
Bulls defense. Bulls are one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA, so maybe it's just a bad matchup.
Yeah, and it's the odds. It's at plus 1. If you use Bet365, it's at plus 105, and that's good from like strictly an odds perspective. Like every other book has it in like -115 to -120. So I think that's kind of where the logic was.
Got it. Someone said they're a Jakob Poeltl double at plus money. All right. Pelicans and Pistons. Pistons make the community parlay. We got Pelicans money line. Pistons plus 9. 9.
All right, I'll pull up the odds if you give me 1 second. So it looks like the Pistons moved to 8.5. So that's what it's going to be, not 9.
Okay. Yeah. I switched it.
Okay, that is on. Actually, the best price is Caesars at plus 643. So that's what we'll give out.
640. By the way, this guy, he goes, "Go ahead, guys, fade the Bulls on Broadway acting appreciation night." That's not. It's not true. He said it was Jay-Z night. He said it was Jay-Z night in Brooklyn the other day. So the community parlay is Golden State money line, Milwaukee money line, Pelicans money line, Pistons plus 8.5, plus 643. Thanks, guys, for watching. Matt, thanks for joining. Make sure you check out Matt's YouTube channel. His Twitter name's right under there. When he posts a video, he usually tweets you out and let you know. So give him a follow on Twitter. Appreciate him taking the time to join us. Tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m., 20 college basketball games. It's a loaded day. We'll go through them all. So hopefully see you in the morning. I don't know if I'm going to get to an NBA live show tomorrow morning, but I will upload an NBA video tonight. So there will be an NBA video up for tomorrow, but I don't know if I'll be able to get to a live show. Everyone, enjoy your night. Remember to bet responsibly. And if you're waiting for me to post updated bets on the ticket, give me about 30 minutes because I didn't even start it yet. There's already some bets up there that I posted last night, but I'm going to post some more on KyleKirms.com. Just give me about a half hour on that. All right, guys. Have a good one.